to say how do we ensure that by doing so, we do it in an equitable fashion. That there's, as Gandhiji famously said, there's no one is left behind and it serves the last man standing. And I think the challenge that we have as a community and as a society is how do we get everybody past the line rather than only a few. And I think designing the $1 trillion economy with that principle in mind becomes very critical. And therefore, I want to shine the spotlight on let's say the regions like Kalyan Karnataka or the hinterlands of rural, where we know that the need for finance and access to finance, I would just say, not just say credit, but holistically at a household level, how do we make sure that finance is available at the time they need it, when they need it, where they need it, and on the terms they need it, right? I think designing for that becomes critical. And any economic growth that is an outcome of such an approach is probably much more long-lasting and sustainable rather than just ticking the box and saying we've hit the $1 trillion economy. So I would want to probably just, love to hear the rest of the panel saying, how do we build products that serve these communities rather than flipping it around to say, how do we make the communities absorb the finance? I think the question to ask is, how do we make sure that the communities are strengthened with the finance that's available, and how do we make sure that it is being deployed for growth that is the right kind of growth that we need in the country and the state.
I love the view you presented because I want to take it to Sir Hugh.
With AI today, right? So let's take a clear picture of what's happening with AI. Today, if you look at where AI is really getting used in fintech, it's barely a few things, right? So you're seeing it getting used in customer service, right? You're getting used in fraud detection and stuff. Sahil talked about New Hunter from RBIH earlier, right? And that's mostly the main two places. Beyond that, you will see some personalization and stuff that's happening around it, where you're seeing usage of AI in fintech. I'm saying from products that are being sold, not from a development, engineering development perspective. But it's not being used, say, for autonomous underwriting, right? If anybody is telling you, it's really being used for autonomous underwriting, that's more a slide, not a real story, right? So that's really the story, that's part one. Second, if you look at what can be done on AI today, right? We all talk about frontier models like Claude or Gemini or others, but I'll sort of say a controversial statement out here, right? To me, where we are seeing the growth of open source models globally, all the models are about to get commoditized. Right? What does that mean? What that basically means is that while that will reach a thing where India can differentiate itself from an AI perspective and be the leader. India has always been the leader for the last 30 years in fintech when it comes to back office services. You talk about KYC, you talk about risk operations, you talk about all of the things. Even for companies within India or outside India, we were running service operations. Now, if it's all about harnesses and workflows when it comes into AI. So if you can take, the existing models, not worry about, we have the latest model or not using in AI, but if you can build workflows, harnesses on top of it, and ensure that you take our existing domain knowledge and convert it into an AI native systems, it allows us to take a leap in fintech like nobody else globally. And that's an opportunity that we have in India that very few other countries out there have. We really need to take that opportunity in two hands and go and build, invest in AI. We worry too much about AI governance. That's it. Use AI to build the AI governance there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right? It's an opportunity, I think, as I should see through my lens, which is absolutely limitless. It's for us to go grab it, with the right incentives provided by both the regulators, government, and capital coming in.
I'm glad you said, Madan. I want to take your comments and Ashutosh and then come to you, Animesh. You see the IT revolution. Will we see an AI revolution where the services-based model or the India becoming a leader in AI with both governance as well as trust-based compliance models built in? Do you think that will happen?
I think completely in sync with the comments. See, my sense is that AI provides us now a phenomenal opportunity to reimagine how services to households can be reimagined and restructured, right? About a year ago, when the whole conversation about Gen AI was happening, I realized that we're putting AI at the center and people around it and asking the question, what will AI do to us? I said essentially we're going to flip it, and what India needs is not Gen AI but Jan AI. So we started an initiative called Jan AI, where we need to put people at the center of AI around it and say, how can AI serve the needs of the people better? Three things are required. One, we have to listen to communities, their voices, what products, what services are required for them. And the beauty about AI is in real time it can help configure a bunch of services that can deliver the needs and the desires and aspirations of the people. That's one. Two, we absolutely need a trust layer at a community level. To an extent the BC model did that, the Common Services Center did that, Internet got democratized to Internet centers. In fact, we are setting up what is called as Gen AI cafes at the Gram Panchayat level, run by entrepreneurs to be able to listen to voices, to provision services in real time with partners to the community. And the third is that it requires us to come out with a very different collaborative mindsets between all of us, right? I mean, we think of a household in silos to say, oh, there is a lending need, there is an insurance need, there is a markets need, there is a savings need. But if you can somehow seamlessly stitch together collaboratives which can deliver these products to them in fashion that was never done before, I think that is the opportunity for us. And to Ashutosh's point, I think if there is any one state in the country where this magic can happen immediately, where there's already a collaborative mindset, there is sandboxes and there is government support, it is here in Karnataka, and I'm very, very hopeful that we will be able to showcase some models for the world from here.
Ashutosh, your experience with the compliance as well as the data privacy acts, what will be the implication on the sector for AI to actually become a leverage and a growth driver instead of the other way around, where you're just complying with the industry norms and also the privacy standards that have been put in place for the industry which really requires consumer trust, given that there is very little of it right now?
I don't know how it is a hard question, but no, I think it's an opportunity, right? Any new capability which solves our way of working is always an opportunity. It's for the insurance space or even any other space for that matter to grab that opportunity and work on this. How we see DPDP or any of these new things coming up is, so I'll answer it in two parts. One is, I'm saying for ourselves as company, we started something new in insurance space, which is going to the consumers directly and selling so-called tough product like insurance, right? So that needed to transform the product itself. What exactly are you selling? But then on top of it, you have to put two layers. One is transparency and second is explainability, right? That's what DPDP also pushes for in a way, right? So I don't see it to be honestly a challenge. Any regulation, if it is built for the end consumers, logically, if you're doing the right thing, it should help you to develop, it should help you to kind of grow. And if you apply that lens, anything else, be it like AI or anything else coming into picture is capability. You have to tap into that capability, work around how can you solve the consumer use cases, align it with the way you're operating. I think it unlocks as many things possible.